Tanya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to do a video that I have mentioned was coming up in my most recent video, and that is my rebuilding your handbag collection after a robbery video. So on September 2nd of last year, I came home, I walked into my apartment, and my floor was littered with handbags. I was very confused as to what was going on. I thought maybe my cats knocked something down, and then I looked up and I realized that my handbag organizers were empty. I really quickly realized that someone had broken into my apartment and had robbed me. The theft was very primarily focused on my handbags. The police thought there could be somebody who kind of saw me coming in and out of my home, knew that I carried more expensive handbags and targeted me, or it could have been just someone who got lucky, saw something and went and just took everything and went about their business. Fortunately, it's now been exactly 1 year and there's been no resolution to the crime, but I have spent the months since then very quietly and slowly trying to rebuild my collection. And in a lot of ways, it's not been easy because some of the items had been around, had been part of my collection for quite some time. So they were either no longer in production. Some were actually, in my own opinion, no longer really, I don't want to say trendy, but they were not of this moment, so I didn't really use them very often. So it actually even took me a while to realize what was gone. It's been a year, and 3 weeks ago I realized a bracelet was stolen, right? So it's, as I go through my life, I'm gonna find more things that were missing. It was quite shocking and it was really painful, and it's been difficult. I built my collection for myself as a fan. I love handbags. I think of them as art. And I also have a 17-year-old niece who for years now, we have talked about my handbag collection as almost a living inheritance for her, where the moment that I felt that collection was done or I was tired of it, I was going to give it to her to either continue to build it on her own, to sell it, you know, have an amazing trip on me, something of that sort. So it was really sad for this thing that I had built for not only myself but for her, for it to just be gone, which is what pushed me to decide to, as quickly as I could, try to rebuild it. So that's what I want to focus on today. And obviously I am not I'm not someone with limitless amounts of money, so rebuilding had to be very thoughtful, had to be very practical. So the bags that I'm going to cover today are actually bags that I tried to do a one-for-one replacement, where if a Valentino bag was stolen, I'm trying to replace it with a Valentino bag, right? So it was like equal. So it's trying to be equal to like fill that same gap within my collection. And what I did use, I tried to actually use sites. I didn't want to buy used, not because I have a problem with used, but because I thought that there was a way to get something, replace it, maybe get something newer or better than what even I had, and to do that and do it by saving money. And what I did is I used Yoox.com. Yoox, if you don't know, it's an online retailer. I believe they originated in Italy. I think their warehouses are actually based in Italy. They are the parent company actually of Net-a-Porter and Mr. Porter. And oftentimes you will see things that were on the Net-a-Porter site, because Net-a-Porter, they also own the Outnet, right? So you will see things filtered through the Outnet and Yoox. I actually feel that Yoox has a better price point though than the Outnet, and their inventory is much larger. It is crazy the amount of things that you can find, and yet things are past season, but it could be past season like a year ago, or in some instances, yeah, this was maybe 2 years ago, right? So like I bought these things between 2020, 2021, and they might have been the 2019 collections. That didn't bother me because some of the bags that were stolen were maybe from 2012, right? it seems to me what the pattern that I noticed with the bags that were stolen was they went for the bags with the biggest name recognition. So a ton of Proenza schooler bags stayed behind, including 2 that were brand new with tags hanging there. I don't think they recognized the name. So they stole every Alexander Wang bag. They took Valentino. They took Stella McCartney. They took Burberry, and they did take one Balenciaga bag, and they took Chloe, right? So these were bags that had, which is why the police thought maybe this is someone who knew, right? Because it was very purposeful what they chose to take and what they chose to leave. So I'm just going to start with the first bag that I replaced, and the first bag that I actually replaced was a Valentino bag. So this bag actually had been a very recent addition to my collection. I actually bought this while I was home in quarantine during the pandemic. I bought it in May of 2020, never got to use it, and it was stolen in September of 2020. And obviously it's taken me a while to build it, to make this video, because I wasn't really prepared to do it emotionally, but I'm ready now. So they stole the Valentino Bloomy Bag in black, which I had actually purchased from Yoox, because during quarantine I was trying to build my collection by buying bags that I didn't have, and I didn't have anything by Valentino. I don't really like the rock stud bags very much, so when they were having a moment, I kind of let that go. They're doing some of their current bags I do like with the puffy leather. Those are beautiful. I love those. So this is actually a Valentino Bloomy bag as well, but this is in a dove gray. And I wanted to replace the black one that was stolen with a black, because I chose the black for a reason. It's so practical. The majority of my bags are black, but unfortunately it wasn't available when I went to reorder. So I got the gray because one of the other bags that was stolen was gray. So I figured, here I am, I'm gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm gonna replace my Valentino bag that I really liked, and I'm gonna replace the gray one, even though that was a different brand, and that one gets replaced separately. But you can see my thinking, right? I'm trying to fill this gap in my collection. One gap was the Valentino, the other was the gray. So this is the Bloomie. It has scrunched, really, really soft leather. It does have teeny tiny rock studs right there. They're barely noticeable. And then, see here, it is lined in suede. It has a magnetic closure, and it is one larger compartment. So when I bought the black one from Yoox, I paid $560 because it was somewhere around $750, and I had multiple coupons. So I was because you can do that, and I was able to get it down to $560. Unfortunately, when I went to replace it, the coupon was not available. I did just get one 10% off coupon, because when you sign up for emails from them, they give you 10%. And I have like 8 emails, so I have signed up for 8 sign up codes, and it all works. And I logged into my account. They honor the code because it's an individualized code, so it's not just like a welcome 10 type of thing. So they do honor it. So this right here is the Valentino Bloomie. Sorry, I forgot to show you the name. It's on the back in gold foil. So this was one of the easier things to do, because since I had just bought it, it was still available on Yoox. And so I think this might have been the very first bag that I replaced, with one small edit. And this bag has actually come back on Yoox twice since I bought this new one in, I think it was September. It has come up twice, again for that same around $800 price point. The most recent time was just June of this year. So this is something you have an eye on. I would go to Yoox, search by designer, and then take a look at what's available. You can always search by designer and category, so that if you're looking for something that's Balenciaga and is a hat, you'll be able to do that, sort them. They have a great mobile app. I'm obviously not someone who's sponsored, but I am someone who has enjoyed their shopping experience with Yoox. Okay, so the next one, and I will do this one now because had a little tumble back there, sorry. I just spoke about replacing the gray bag that was stolen. So we'll see right here, this is a Chloe bag. And the bag that was stolen is actually a bag I did a video about a few years ago, and it was the Chloe Mini Marcy. The Chloe Mini Marcy in gray is a bag that is probably in my top 10 favorite bags ever. It was a super sturdy yet pretty streamlined crossbody that was just perfect for any occasion. I loved it so much, and that one really hurt because that one was not just a bag that was in the collection I hadn't used in a very long time. That one, or I hadn't gotten a chance to get attached to it. That one was something that was actively very used, and I was sorry to lose it. I bought that Mini Marcy a few years ago at around the $600 price point. Now it's closer to $1,000. So sorry, there's some noise outside. I do live in the city. It's quite noisy. So unfortunately, I was now priced out of it. I could have bought it for $1,000. I didn't want to. So what I did is I kept looking at Yoox, and between the time that it was stolen, which was in September, until the time I bought it in December, nothing came up that I liked or that I wanted, and I made a decision. You're only going to buy what you like and what you can see use for. And then one glorious day in December, the Chloe Drew came up, and I actually have always really liked the Chloe Drew, and it came up in a off-white. And this bag is so beautiful. It has really lovely silver hardware, has the lock with the little chain here, and it is the chevron print, which is also quilted, which, as I was saying, the quilted bags are having a moment right now, over the last year anyway, and I really like it. And so I was super excited to get this one to add to my edition, and this particular style comes with this chain. So this chain obviously makes this quite dressy, but it is removable. I bought this bag in December, never used it until a couple of weeks ago, and never used it with the chain, only on my birthday because I wanted it to be a little bit special. So you can do that. You can hold it like that, or you can do this and then use it as a crossbody, which is actually what I did because I went to work on my birthday. One has to be practical. But here we go. She is really lovely. This is off-white. For years, I have been wanting an all-white handbag because I believe that you can use white all year round, but I have some stipulations. I think that if you're going to do it, it needs to be super bright white, and I think it needs to have silver hardware, and I think that makes it lends itself to all seasons. This one is off-white, so it didn't necessarily hit that for me, but actually the cream works really well because if you have like a tan coat, how beautiful is that? That would be great. And I do have a tan teddy coat, which has been around for a couple of years, and I don't care. I love that coat. I'll have it forever. So I'm actually excited to use this in the winter season. You'll hear me say that I bought these bags months ago. I haven't used them. I have still been working from home up until just 2 weeks ago now. So I'm kind of getting back into the habit of dressing like I normally would and accessorizing in the way that I normally would. And I'm excited to finally have the opportunity to do this. The Chloe Mini Drew was, I believe, $900 at the time. Yes, it was around $900, but at the time that I bought it, Yoox was running an offer where if in the month of November you had spent X amount of dollars, I think it was like $500, any purchase you made the next month would have 20% off. I was able to do that and throw in one of those 10% sign up codes, and I got this bag down to a really good price. I think what I ended up paying for it was just under $7. I'm going to insert photos of these bags in the video, and I'm going to try to insert the price point of what I actually paid for them on Yoox so that you have a good sense. This was a one-off. I haven't seen this particular one come up on Yoox again, but I have seen other styles of Chloe bags, including a large Marcy, come up. It's just I had already purchased what I needed, so I didn't buy another. Excuse me. I'm gonna ask you to forgive my background. Today I am purging, and in that purge, some of my gifts from my nephew have made it onto my video, and he loves to give me plushies. So the next bag that I'm going to talk about was also purchased in December. No, I think this one was purchased in November. The bag that this particular, it was a Burberry bag. It was a coated canvas and red patent leather Burberry Nova check that I bought in 2012 and I never used. And it was, this bag was right in front of I think a Philip Lim bag that was definitely worth more. I think it was in front of Philip Lim Poshley. It was near, and they took the Burberry Nova check instead of the Philip Lim, which, I mean, it was the better bag, in my opinion anyway. Is that what it was? I think that's what it was. In any case, Burberry is not a designer that I've really purchased much from since around the mid 2010s, right? So 2012, 2015, and that in those years I did buy a few, and I've gotten rid of some of them and since then, and then there's the one that was stolen. In any case, if it wasn't for the fact that I was replacing it, I don't know that I would have gone looking for another Burberry bag right now. Although I do like the new T logo that they're doing. That print is really nice. My name is Tanya. I love things with a T monogram. I don't use Tory Burch, but I love Tory Burch's logo because of the double T, right? So I do appreciate that new Burberry print. And it looks like a T. It looks like it's a B, but it looks like there's a T in the middle. I don't necessarily understand where that's coming from. I should probably look it up, but I haven't. So what I ended up getting was this Burberry black leather Tassel and fringed crossbody. So it's right here. This is the type of crossbody where the strap can go inside, so you can use this as a clutch. It has a clasp that you lift and pull. So right here, and yes, you'll see the strap can be removed right there. So you can make this a clutch, and I kind of really like that idea of a schoolboy clutch. It has a little accordion right here, so it's got a good amount of space. This bag, I want to say I paid $650 for, and it was a bag that I bought. It was part of the get the additional percentage off scheme that they were doing. And you'll see it does have the Burberry check on the inside, so a subtle nod to the origins of Burberry. And to be honest, a bag that I will use much more than that Nova check, which I had not used in at least 5 years, if not more. So I think this was one of the cases where I think also with the Drew, where not only did I replace, but I replaced and upgraded, which is, it's always a good thing, right? You've had a loss, you've suffered, and if you're going to do something for yourself, try and make it the best that you can, which is what I tried to do in a price point that was accessible to me. So I have more to show you. Let's see, what else do we have here? Sorry, as I mentioned, I have two Falabella bags, and luckily they were not stored in the same location because they took the one that was on the organizer closest to my door, and it's actually not my favorite. The other is the traditional large cream colored Falabella. I actually use that one not often, but occasionally. It comes up at least a couple of times a year. The other one, to be honest, had not used in a very long time. It was a fuchsia fold over Falabella. And again, Stella McCartney is not a designer that I've been thinking of in recent times. I don't really, other than that classic Falabella, which I like because of the size. I wouldn't have been buying another Stella McCartney bag, but the theft led me to do a search. And when I went on to Yoox, here we go, sorry, here's the Stella McCartney dust bag, I found this little gem, and I actually really, really love it. So, hold on, the chain link is stuck here. Okay, so you'll see these things all have their cards attached because I have not gotten a chance to wear it yet. So this bag, the strap can be used as a shoulder strap, which is what'll be right here, or you can make it long, and this would also be a shoulder strap. It's, I think, maybe if you're very I think if you're short, yeah, actually I just put it on as a crossbody and it does work for me. I didn't think it was gonna do that. I thought this would be strictly shoulder for me, but it definitely works. So I actually love this. It is not a fold over. It is just a kind of a square, maybe like a large pochette type shape. And I love the contrasting prints. So here we have the white and black buffalo check, and then here we have the plaid, the inside's a buffalo check again, and on the sides we have houndstooth. So these are all prints that I love. It is a cotton because obviously Stella McCartney does not use animal products in her handbags. So these are all going to be all natural fibers, right? So this is a cotton, but it's such a soft cotton that it feels almost like a wool. And to be honest, when I saw this online, I thought it would feel more like a button-down shirt type of cotton, and it would lend itself to all season. In reality, it's so soft that I think you can see its softness, and I'll show it right here, right? So I do think that this lends itself more to the fall and winter months, which is okay because this is what we are approaching right now. So it's a good thing I didn't have reason to use it. I mean, it's not a good thing. It's fine that I didn't have a reason to use it over the summer because I now have this winter to look forward to, and I think I will actually get quite a bit of use out of this one. And again, this was a case where I absolutely upgraded. I hadn't used that other bag in years. It was not something that was on trend or of the moment, and I think I upgraded to something I really like and that I'm happy to add to my collection. So I have some more. Hold on. I'm gonna do 2 more for you. As I was saying at the beginning of the video, the bag collection that was hit the hardest was my Alexander Wang collection. I don't know if it was his physical placement, it's something that they knew, but I mean, Alexander Wang is a bigger name if you're looking at street style, and that might be why it had more recognition to whoever stole my handbags. And right before the theft, I had actually, as I was saying, I had been adding to my collection, and I added a bag from Yoox to my collection, and it was a new buck Alexander Wang bag, and it was on super sale, and it was just like, its regular price was like $400. It had 20% off, so I think I paid maybe $320, if not a little bit more off, because that's when I first started shopping at Yoox, and I also had the sign up 10% off code. So I actually do think it was under $300. So when the theft happened, this was a bag that was already, it was in their inventory. They had plenty of it, so I was easily able to replace it. And I'll show it to you. I don't want to focus on this too much, and I'll explain that right now. So you'll see right here, this is very much a work bag. You'll see right here, I do like the shoulder strap. The shape of it's really nice. It had a lot of width, like if you did have to bring your laptop with you, and it had the classic studs on the bottom, a la the Rocco. Now, in the months since I purchased this, and this is the Alexander Wang Daphne bag. Yeah, it's a Daphne bag in terracotta. So in the months since I have purchased this, a lot of allegations of abuse, of sexual abuse against Alexander Wang have come up, and I would not at this moment, or ever since learning that, purchase an Alexander Wang bag. So, and I understand that people are innocent until proven guilty, but I just don't want to highlight or really give a moment. So it's not something I'm going to talk about very much. But if it wasn't for the fact that I had already replaced this one, I wouldn't have replaced it. Like I said, many bags of this particular designer had been stolen, and 2 of them were personal favorites, the Emile and the Rocco. And I am going to replace them, but not with, they won't be 1-for-1 replacements. I actually recently replaced the Rocco with a mini version from another designer that is similar in style. So then there is one more bag that I will feature. And I'm actually really sad about this because this is the 3rd time I have filmed this video. The first time, I didn't realize the camera was I had a spotlight on and it was reflecting in my glasses, and when I played the footage back, all you could see were big green squares on my face. I filmed it again and then realized again later that the orientation was wrong, and that's not a good way to pose, so I didn't want to use that footage. So 3rd time's a charm. But what has unfortunately happened is that I unboxed. I was doing an unboxing that I was super excited about, and I can't rebox it, so I'm just going to show it to you. Right here, this is from Gucci, and this was not a Yoox purchase, although they do have Gucci handbags. This was actually directly from Gucci. I had a Gucci canvas tote stolen. I think at the time that I bought it, it was around $250. It was a fabric tote. It was beautiful. I love the traditional. It had the red and green webbed straps. It was awesome. There is nothing equivalent. And I don't mean price point. I understand that things jump. But there was no fabric tote equivalent right now when I looked at Gucci. They had drawstring backpacks, and that's not for me. So I moved on, and what I found was a crossbody shoulder bag purse that basically had a feeling of what was stolen, right? So this is the Gucci Ophidia in the small size. It's a crossbody bag. What reminds me of the tote is of course the Gucci monogram, and it had the webbing, the strap, right? So I have it right here, which the tote had this on both sides, and of course this has a slightly more updated GG logo. It has, so this is coated canvas, the strap is leather, and it is meant to be worn crossbody. It is a very, very short crossbody, so much so that I had to buy a leather punch and extend it, because this right here, using at the last one, would not, even that wouldn't allow me to go crossbody. It was like right up here, and that's not a good look. So I got the hole punch, I was able to extend it, it's better. Now, I have used this bag now twice, and there is a negative, because I've, again, used it twice. Used it one day on this strap and used it as a shoulder bag. And the indentation that has been come out on this strap, it's really unfortunate. That shouldn't happen with just a day, and not very like heavy content in this bag. I was carrying a mini wallet and some sanitizer. I really don't understand why that happened. And I will tell you right now, because I did move it from this last one to the upper one, the same thing has happened here. So I think because this is the way I'm going to use it the most, I have to let it live here, or I'm basically going to just make this indentation occur on every hole, and I don't want to do that. So that's unfortunate. And there is also the thing, right? Like maybe time will let the leather get softer and they won't be as noticeable. I'll see what happens. So for right now, I do think it's beautiful. I like the look of it. I don't like it as much as the tote. I really miss the tote. And I don't know how much longevity this has with me, because I don't know that it was what I was looking for. It's, as a crossbody, it's like, okay. As a shoulder strap, as a shoulder bag, I wish it was shorter, right? So I think what's gonna have to happen is that I will eventually have to take this to maybe a cobbler and have them make the strap, as opposed to longer, which I thought was the solution, is make it shorter and possibly do it up so that it's here. And then right now you're looking more, even that's long, like this, and maybe make it more of a true shoulder bag. And I think if I get it to this length, that's the way that this bag will be able to stay with me for an extended period of time. Because for right now, it's okay, but I'm just like, that one again. Like that's how I feel about it. And I just got this bag, and I think the price point on this is somewhere between $1,100 and $1,200. So you would want to be happier with it, like more into it, and I'm not. So you live and you learn. You'll find things out, and you find what works for you. So I want to thank you for listening to this video. It was longer than I expected it to be, and I'm sorry. I did try to get through it as quickly as possible, but this is, I think, installment 2, but really 1, of how to rebuild after a burglary. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.